And I think you say a great point too. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but how to bless your marriage, always to keep it in mindset of out-serving the other. So if my goal is to serve you, your goal is to serve me, there's no lack.
Yeah.
It's just constantly better and better and better.
That mindset should trickle through the entire relationship, including the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because if you do have that mindset, how can I serve you? And you're thinking, how can you serve me? You want to be intimate.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Faith-Fueled Marriage Podcast, where we strive to build stronger Christ-centered marriages, one conversation at a time. Follow us along as we dive into our hopes, dreams, and struggles while giving you practical advice to strengthen your marriage. Let's check out our new episode.
Welcome to this episode of the Faith-Fueled Marriage Podcast. As always, we're so excited that you're here to join us. My name's Danny, joined by the beautiful Miss Jenny. And again, we're just so excited that you're here watching or listening, wherever you check out your podcasts. And on that note, before we jump into this episode, just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's liking and commenting. The comments, they mean a lot. I know they motivate us and give us a little bit of encouragement, right?
Yeah.
And just, we ask that if, you could just share this with someone. Our goal, again, is to just make your marriage the best and strongest marriage that it could possibly be. Or if you share it with someone else, that maybe it can impact their marriage and affect generations. You never know what, we always say that one little act of obedience, you never know what God can do with that. So, so thank you for all that. And I feel like every episode is becoming my favorite episode. Like we didn't even do this one yet, but I'm really excited about this one.
This is a good one.
This is already like my favorite one, and we haven't even done it.
Yeah.
So the title of this episode is Intimacy and the Importance of Intimacy in Your Marriage. So we're going to have the same kind of format. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of sex and intimacy of marriage. And it's kind of the same format. We kind of have our list of topics and questions, and we're just going to kind of have an open dialogue and let God and the Spirit move, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here we go. Let's just jump into it. And the first one that we have is, why is intimacy important, and how do we prioritize it in our marriage? Because I know the more that time goes on, it may become a little bit more difficult to, and we've experienced that.
To prioritize
Yeah.
it.
So why is intimacy important,
Yeah.
and how do we prioritize it in our marriage?
Well, it's definitely a vital component of marriage. And before I even go into that, go back to who gave us intimacy, who created sex, because it has this like negative, grimy feeling.
It has like a negative connotation.
Yeah,
we were like kind of
that?
nervous to talk about this, right? Yeah.
But let's call it what it is. It was created by God to bless us, to be fruitful and to multiply.
Yeah.
So he's blessing us with it. So are we taking advantage of it? Because if we're taking advantage of it, it's going to feel grimy.
Yeah.
Are we honoring it? It's a covenant relationship from the Lord. So between your husband and yourself, just between the two of you, that's not grimy. That's a blessing. So
treat it like that.
Yeah, treat it like that.
Yeah.
So it's from the Lord. It's a blessing. It's not yucky. It's meant to be between you and your spouse. Okay? So, and we'll get further along in our conversation. We take advantage of it, like many other things in society that was a blessing from the Lord, but sin taints it. So if you're honoring the Lord, it's a blessing. It's not yucky. It's also, I can speak as a woman's perspective, it's a way of serving your husband. Like, I feel like many men, like, that's a love language to you, like not withholding that. Like, it's bettering our relationship if it's an honoring way, like, because if I'm withholding that, and manipulating, that's not loving you.
No.
You know, you feel loved when I'm pursuing you and loving you, you know?
Right.
And same thing for me. Like, I could feel that same way too. Like, you're pursuing me, you're loving me, you know? It makes you feel like positive, like, oh, like my spouse wants me, my spouse loves me. So it's a way to bless each other.
And then you want to give back and
Yeah.
into that part of the relationship. You know?
And I think you say a great point too. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but how to bless your marriage, always keep it in mindset of out-serving the other. So if my goal is to serve you, your goal is to serve me, there's no lack.
Yeah.
It's just constantly better and better and better.
That mindset should trickle through the entire relationship, including the bedroom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because if you do have that mindset, how can I serve you? And you're thinking, how can you serve me? You want to be intimate.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. It's
Because
a
if you're
blessing.
I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before, but we said something like human beings are inherently selfish. And I think I said something like, it's the me,
Yeah.
me. With intimacy and in the bedroom, it can't be that way.
No,
You have to constantly be thinking of
because
the other
then one
person.
people might be
And it's going to make
yeah.
it so much more fruitful and enjoyable.
Yeah.
And
when you're both enjoying
pleasurable,
it.
you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any taboo words, but
No, but
It's true, though.
It's true,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like when only one person is being served, what's great, good for you.
Yeah.
Like, what about me?
Yeah, cool.
You know? So,
Good night. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like when you're both serving each other, it's a beautiful, that's how every area of our relationship would be, especially intimacy.
yeah, I agree. We got to get into this. How do we prioritize
Mm-hmm.
it? Because for us, I don't know if you were going to talk about the premarital.
I was,
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
we
Go ahead,
laugh
yeah.
about that
yeah,
now.
because
I
we kind of
remember-
chatted about
yeah.
that before. We thought that was funny bringing that
So
up.
when we did premarital counseling, we were told by our pastor at the time, like, you're going to need to prioritize it. And we were like, what?
And he said, even to the extent of possibly setting up to schedule it. And we were like,
On a calendar.
what the,
What kind of life are you living? Yeah, what the heck?
the heck is wrong with you?
But as time goes on,
And then time goes on, and then
more children.
so we haven't done that, but maybe that's all you needed to hear in this whole thing is, hey, I need to set up a way to prioritize it and figure out how to put my marriage first, well, God first and my marriage second, right? So maybe it is something like that, and
Yeah.
then you put it on your. I don't know if you're a calendar person and you write it down, or if you just set
Yeah.
reminders. Like I'm a reminder person on my phone. I'm
On
just
the
like, hey,
phone.
remind me at 3 p.m. tomorrow to do
Code
this and
word,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Come up with your code word.
You don't want people looking at your phone and being
Yeah.
like, wow.
Who was it? Does the reading a book or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to.
They go and
yeah.
not us. Who was that? It was like, yeah, we go read, and we're like,
I
oh,
won't call them
what?
out, but
yeah,
you know who you
I know,
are.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, we're good.
Yeah, I'm getting off topic.
But
Sorry. But
prioritizing.
prioritizing. So we thought that was hilarious when he said that. He's like, you might need to schedule it, and we're like, is this guy like, what is
Yeah.
he talking? We weren't married yet, so we're like, come on. Like,
Yeah, that's a
Kind
thing.
of sick joke is this, you know?
But as time goes
But
on,
okay, then we have first kid, second kid, third kid. By the time you have the 17th kid, yeah, you might need to, you know?
Yeah.
Because by the time I get home or your spouse gets home, whatever the situation is for you guys, they're exhausted, they're tired, they gotta, food's gotta get made, house has gotta get clean, kids gotta get bathed, put to bed, get up for school the next day. Next thing you know, that short period of time that you did have together at home, it goes by so fast.
So quick.
And then who still needs to shower? Who still needs to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, someone's sleeping and
yeah,
intimacy time's gone.
yeah.
So
And one night turns into 2 nights, turns
Yeah.
into a week. Next thing you
so it's
know.
important, like, to prioritize it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is there any other suggestions on that?
It's also prioritizing date nights, alone time.
Yeah, we are not the best at that.
We're not good at
Yeah,
that.
we'll be vulnerable and be honest.
And your
We're-
spouse's love tank may be quality time.
Yeah.
So the only time you might be prioritizing
life gets in the way,
Yeah.
and you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
And you can't let it happen. You know, you have to fight for your marriage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then, so the next one that we had is, what actually fuels marriage intimacy, what will lead up to that, and we were going to talk about from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
From a man's perspective, I think, and I always say it's just kind of like a starter pack is just diving into the 5 love languages, figuring out the top 2 to 3 and just feeding those, and realizing also that they may change over the course of time. Like I've noticed, I've said this to you before, you have become more, it's more, I would say acts of service was like down on the lower rank, but that's since we've had the kids and everything going on. I think that's ranked up higher. So for me, when I come home, I want to just lay down and relax and shower and eat, and I'm exhausted mentally and physically, and I want to just like debrief. But I know if I want to have that intimacy time, that alone time with you, I gotta help with the kids I gotta help the kids get ready for bed, help them take baths or whatever, and make sure that they're fed, make sure the dishes are clean up the kitchen, and do those so you can do something else. So we do have
Time
as much
together.
time as possible together. So I think that's very important, just kind of starting with that.
Yeah.
And then I think it's also from a man's perspective, we are, historically the provider, the protector. You have to do those things to, not so much the providing, but the protecting to build security for you.
Yeah.
And build trust. So you'll let those walls down, those maybe traumatized walls, or historically, whatever the issue is, those walls that you have built up over time, we'll knock those down together.
Yeah.
And it'll make our intimacy that much more fruitful and enjoyable.
Knowing that's a safe place.
And I want to be your safe haven.
Yeah.
So as a man, doing that and creating that safe environment for them physically, through communication, whatever the situation is, but it's so vital and it's so important. So I think from a man's perspective, if you don't know where to start with the 5 love languages. And then after that, just really focus on just out-serving and building that trust and being that security blanket for your spouse.
Absolutely.
What about for the women's perspective?
I think you hit it spot on.
Next question. No, I'm just
You did a great job. Filling love tank, acts of service. Also just knowing, going back to the safe haven, knowing that you are being faithful, like lustfully not looking at others, because some people think that cheating is just physically.
Well, okay. I don't mean to cut you off, but what does Jesus say?
Yeah, if a man looks at a woman
Even if
lustfully in his heart.
Yeah, he's committed adultery with her in her heart.
In his heart, yeah.
So we're gonna probably get into the P word later.
Yeah,
that's porn, just so.
just in case.
Just in case someone's saying.
You gotta be careful here. Yeah. I know, but it's true. It's like if I know I'm safe with you, like you said, those walls are gonna come down. Yeah. And then as a wife, like that's your love language, is being intimate with you and providing that for you, because men are, like what we hear, men are more physical than women. Women can be physical too.
Women are physical too, but
the way a man is wired is more physical. So if I'm withholding that from you, that's messed up, in a form of manipulation, or he doesn't deserve this, or whatever.
You don't realize it, but you're being deceitful in the moment.
It's evil.
Right? Yeah.
And like, call it what it is.
The enemy wants you to do that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want you to be sacredly bonded.
No.
Right?
If he can cause division, division.
There seems to be a lot of themes that we talk about. Because it's true. Like these themes go through all different areas of life, whether it's finances or raising kids or
it's all division.
Not praying together. It's those areas. It just seems like common themes.
Yeah. So
as we're doing this,
not praying together. So when you're praying together, you're coming together. When you're being intimate, you're coming together.
Yeah.
So you're separating that. You're not coming together. Division.
And again, once you divide the marriage,
It's easy to
the family can fall apart.
Yeah.
The foundation of the family is the marriage. So once you break that, infiltrates through their children's children potentially.
Yeah, those are good. So number 3, what are some ways we have been deceived by the enemy in regards to intimacy?
Yeah, with lust and sexual deception and yeah. I mean, since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look back, read any history textbook, and
Yeah.
even in the Bible, historically in the Bible, who got deceived and I know it was a different time. They had multiple wives and stuff, but that caused many problems. Look at
So many problems.
Solomon, the wisest man.
Yeah.
What was his downfall?
His foreign wives that
Yeah.
the Lord said, don't marry foreign wives because they're going to turn your heart from me.
Yeah. So again, the enemy just wants to. He's so sneaky.
He's so sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he uses, like we talked about this before, even in like churches, and you look at pastors. What is always a downfall of a pastor?
Yeah.
And I said this to you, and you were like, "Yeah, that's so true." You never hear of, "Oh, Pastor," I'm making this up, Pastor John from whatever church, he did 15 lines of coke and he shot his congregation up and he killed everyone. Like you don't hear that.
That's
You
not the
what
sin.
what do you hear? The devil uses
Lust.
that demonic activity of that lust to just slowly
Comes
creep
in.
his little grimy
Yeah.
hands, and he slowly creeps in, and if you're not stopping it, you know, our pastor
With
says,
boundaries.
yeah, you have to set
Yeah.
up the boundaries, and we'll probably talk about that a little later. That could be like the downfall of the church, and it could hurt so many people.
Yeah. Don't give
you
the
know?
devil a foothold.
Yeah, it's always either they're looking at, I don't know if I can say this on like YouTube and stuff, but they're looking at porn.
Mm-hmm.
They sexually abuse someone within the church.
Yeah.
They cheated on their spouse.
Yep.
Those are always the things
It's always
that
a
it's
lust
always
sexual sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never hear of, oh, he's like I said, he relapsed and he's a drug addict again, or you never even hear that kind
No,
of stuff. Or
oftentimes.
yeah, the devil's like, because he whispers those little lies into them, and he knows that's how he can get a man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, like, you never get to that place intentionally. Like, we didn't get married, and I'm like, you know what? And it's not like a plan. In 5 years, you know, I'm just going to be so addicted to porn that I'm going to end up cheating on you, and I'm going to commit adultery, and we're going to get divorced.
gonna
That's my
affect
plan.
our kids,
And
yeah.
that's my plan.
Yeah.
You don't get to that point like purposely. You get there on accident.
No. Yeah.
You just keep taking small steps in the wrong direction, and you know, as a man, when you do fall like that, you feel guilty. You hide it. The devil tries to make you like be quiet about it. You're the only one struggling with that, you know? So, but it's just one step here, one step here, one step,
Yeah.
one step, one step. Next thing you know, you look back and you're like, how in the heck did I get to this point? I never thought I would get to this point.
Yeah.
So in the word, it says, don't even give the devil a foothold. And what that means is, our pastor uses the analogy is like, if someone's trying to like open the door or close the door on you, and you put your foot in front of the door and you leave a little tiny crack, that's all he needs. He can sneak in.
Yeah.
And that's all he needs is that little tiny crack. You don't have to like leave the door wide open and be like, hey, come on, Satan, and all your demonic activity, come on
Yeah.
in. It's just a little bit.
tiny,
So
yeah.
we'll get into that a little later, probably, about setting up boundaries.
It's so easy for it to happen too if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have those boundaries in place, because you could also this is again going back to the deception. What's
Yeah.
it gonna hurt? Like it's not a
Yeah.
big deal. Like going to watching some people aren't gonna like this, but you're watching your rated R movies and there's nudity in it.
Yeah.
Some people will say, that's crazy.
Or
like
music, like you
Yeah.
watch. You have to be careful what you're listening to, what
Yeah.
you're watching, scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah.
I know for me, and I don't know, we weren't really going to talk about this, but I'll just be vulnerable. And I struggled with that for since I was like in probably like middle school. And so,
Yeah.
you know, and it was always like, and then later on in life, you always think like, oh, you know, well, once I get married, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Then, oh, well, when I have kids, now I'm really an adult. Like, now I'm not going to do that anymore. And it may be like not as often as like when you were, excuse me, when you were like a single dude or whatever. But I feel like so many men struggle with that. The devil gets so many men looking lustfully without even like intentionally doing it. I mean, maybe they are, but you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them just get tripped up on accident. And for me, it got to the point where like just through prayer and fasting, and God was speaking, and he's just like, how seriously do you take this? Like how serious is your love for me that you're going to just keep going? It may not be like as frequently as it once was, like I said, but I mean, months could go by or however, it doesn't really matter about the time frame that goes by, but then you go back to it again. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, how serious do you take this? And when that was said to me, I was like, man, if it's true, which I believe it is, like, I'm not about to risk it.
No.
I got to take this seriously. So
Yeah.
I had to put up boundaries, and through prayer and fasting, like, praise God, like, I mean, I'm a man. I could still
Mess up.
mess up. Like, you know, just simply scrolling. A lot of times it happens on accident. You're just scrolling. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, what is that? And then you're like, squirrel.
Yeah.
Click. And you're like, oh, whoa, squirrel. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, whoa, what just
How did
happened?
I get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to set up those boundaries and, you know, reach out to us, or, you know, reach out to me,
Yeah.
or reach out to somebody that a trusted, someone that, what's the word? A trusted,
Mentor.
like mentor
Yeah.
that, you know.
I want to side note that as a mother, like as a spouse, like pray over your spouse, intercede for your spouse.
You helped me with that a lot too, just
Yeah.
praying over me.
But
I don't want to make it sound like I had like a big, or like it wasn't like a
No.
but I
how
did
many
struggle
men
with it
do
for
it?
yeah, and
Yeah.
and it was ongoing for I mean, I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
So I'll just kind of dive into this. So because I think about as a wife, like how did I handle that? Because I could have been taken offense to it, and the enemy did come in and implant those thoughts. So I had the option to grab onto it, which I did for a moment. But then I realized, like, okay, it's not my husband whom I want, you know, like he is in control of his actions, but like with a spiritual eyesight lens, like Holy Spirit, give me the eyes to see, like it's not my husband who I want to punch in the face. It's the devil, the father of lies, and the spirit of lust that does not discriminate against anyone. It's either discriminate against anyone.
Yeah.
Can be
No,
a
I know.
woman.
Yeah.
It can come after a woman. It can come after men, and it can come after your children
Yeah.
too. So are you interceding? Are you praying? Are you fasting?
sin wants to stay in the dark too. So there's
Yeah.
definitely women that struggle with that, and they, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they won't admit that because that's kind of taboo. But
Yeah.
get help and
Yeah.
cut it off at its source. You know,
And if
we impress people with our strengths, but we connect through our weaknesses.
Yes.
That's kind of why I wanted to also open up about that, because I know there's so many men out there
Yeah.
that are just quietly
Suffering.
suffering with
Yeah.
that. And you don't have to, man. There's freedom on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's going to make your marriage and the intimacy with your spouse so much better. It's going to take it to the next level.
Yeah. And as a wife, if your husband comes up to you and he opens up to you,
Yeah, that's important too.
do not be a jerk.
Yeah.
Love him. Thank you for telling me this. Am I okay with it? Absolutely not.
He's telling
But know
you,
what?
he's telling
Yeah.
you because he
He
cares.
doesn't want to do it anymore.
He cares.
Yeah.
And he loves you that much that he's trusting you to be that not confide, what's the word? That trusted
Yeah. Like source. Like
that trusted
yeah.
source that can kind of help and hold him accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing it. He's telling you because he loves you, and as much as you may think like, I felt like you might have struggled with that. Like, is it me? Like, am I not pretty enough? And and all this stuff. It's like, no, all that stuff is a lie. You
Yeah.
know, from the pit of hell.
Yeah.
You know, and call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and also, not to get you off topic on that, because I feel like you were on a important topic there, but realizing that porn is a lie.
Yeah.
And it's demonic.
It is.
If you look at it from a spiritual lens and you're looking at this deceitful, beautiful girl, whatever, there's a demon behind that. That's literally just like controlling the situation. And they're just like,
it makes it so.
if you stop and you realize that it's spiritual, not just if you're looking at it with like you're gratifying your flesh and you're looking at it from that lens, then you're just going to keep pitfalling and keep going back. But if you look at it from a spiritual lens and you realize this is straight up demonic.
Yeah.
And this poor girl is under demonic activity and I'm falling and I'm like, once you realize that, it's kind of like, oh God, like you kind of push back from it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you got to take it serious. Like I said, how serious do you take your relationship? If you
Yeah.
died today and God, opened up that judgment book, you would want to be like, listen, I know I struggled with it, but I stopped it. I cut it off for you, God. You know?
Yeah.
It's not only for your spouse, it's for your relationship with God.
Yeah. And going back to that, you can't control your spouse. You can't change your spouse. You need to hand him over to the Lord. Yes, you need to set up boundaries and say, hey, like, no, I'm not okay with that. Absolutely not. But
no, don't just accept it and be like, oh, everyone does it, so it's okay.
But you are the Lord's.
Yeah.
So Holy Spirit, like, convict him because I love him so much. Convict me. Convict him, like his heart. Like, Lord, I hand him over to you. He is your child. You don't want him to perish more than I don't want anything horrible to happen to you. But how much more so does he love you and not want you to stumble?
Right.
So just hand him over to the Lord too. Like hand over your children to the Lord too.
Like you said, handing them over and trusting them to the Lord and covering them in prayer is so powerful.
And how is that going to be easier when I'm spending time with the Lord?
Yeah.
Who is my portion? My portion's the Lord, So am I seeking the kingdom and all else will be added? And it's not going to be quick. That's where patience comes in, fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Like, he's working. So trust him as he's working. Surrender. Fasting is so powerful.
Fasting was one of the
fasting
things
for
that really
people.
helped me kind of just like continually deny my flesh. When we would just dive into fasting, it really made me like realize like I have to deny my flesh and take this seriously.
Yeah.
And it really just kind of broke the chains.
Break stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're struggling with it and fasting may sound taboo or you're just, this guy's weird, what's he talking about?
And we're not talking about fasting your phone. We're not talking about fasting. Like,
no, like do a
full-fledged fast.
Like 3 days or whatever.
Bone broth or whatever.
Just water.
Before we say that, pray to God, Lord, Holy Spirit, reveal how do you want me to fast, you know? And there's different reasons for fasting.
There's power in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
amen. Do one on fasting. I'd be all for that, an episode.
Yeah. Marriage and fasting.
That's another,
But did you, I wanted to touch base on it because it was a really cool story. I told you about it, I think yesterday or a few days ago. The guy's name is Pastor Josh, like Howard or something like that. And if I showed you him, you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But he's, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it's on the internet, so it's got to be true. He talked about, he used a depiction of ancient Eskimos.
Oh, yes.
I kind of want to, it's because it's a really cool story. And even if it's not true, it's still a really cool story. But he said, do you know how the ancient Eskimos used to fend off and get rid of wolves that were attacking their people in the village?
Yeah.
So what he said is what they would do is they'd get a really sharp knife and they would sharpen it even more and make it like super, super sharp. And then they would dip it in blood, right? Let it freeze, do another layer, dip it in blood. It sounds crazy, but you just like, roll with me here. Dip it in blood again, dip it in blood. And essentially what they were doing was encapsulating that super, super sharp knife in like a blood popsicle almost for the wolf. Then they would take the long handle, they'd stick it out in the, and they'd set them up all over and they'd stick them in the ground. Then the wolf their senses would come up, their strong smell senses would kick in and they'd get drawn to the blood and then come over and they'd lick the blood they'd lick the blood up and down, they lick the blood, and they keep doing this over and over and over again. And what's happening is because the blood was frozen, right? So what's happening is it's desensitizing and it was numbing their tongue. They didn't even realize what was happening. So eventually they licked through all the blood up and down, up and down. Now their tongue is desensitized and numb. They didn't know what was going on, and they would lick the super, super sharp blade. It would cut their tongue and create more blood. Now they're in like a feeding frenzy because they just smell all this blood and they're just like going nuts. So they would keep going, eventually bleeding out.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy depiction of what lust does to us. Oh, it's not that bad. It's just everyone does it, and you just go get a little taste, and you just get a little taste, and you just get a little. It's not that bad. It's just I'm stressed, I'm bored. I just have a little release. It's not that big of a deal. Not realizing that there's death on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Sin leads to death.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought it was a really cool
So
depiction
good.
of
Yeah.
what the enemy does slowly over time. Another cool one was, and I didn't mention this to you, do you know why fishermen rig up the bait?
No.
What do you think?
Catch a fish. I don't know.
Right? That's what you think. It's actually to hide the hook.
Oh, it's deception.
You're hiding the hook. So it's another great depiction is
Yeah.
so you take like an artificial bait and it's shiny, right? And you're looking and now think of that with the lens of lust. And there's this shiny bait and you're just looking at it and it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. And you might go up and what does the fish do? Sometimes they do a little like nibble on it, right? And then they bite it and the hook is literally like death,
Yeah.
right? That's what lust does to us.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. You just see that little shiny object, and it's hidden. The devil's the great deceiver. He goes around like a prowling lion, looking for someone to devour.
Yeah.
And he wants to destroy your marriage. He wants to destroy our marriage. So you have to you have to stay in the Word. You have to pray together.
Yeah.
You have to pray intimately on your own, but praying together is so powerful. Go back
So
to watch
powerful.
episode, I don't know, I think it was episode 1 or 2.
2.
Check those out. Yeah. Check out that one. You have to do these type of things to set up the boundaries to protect your marriage because lust is we all know it. It's one of the most sneakiest things. More commonly gets the man than the woman,
Yeah.
I would say.
And it's a generational thing. So the battles you're not fighting, the enemy's coming after your kids.
Yeah. That was another thing for me. I thought about it. I'm like, man, I can't be like passing this on, this spiritual deception down to my kids.
Yeah.
I got to stop this before it gets potentially out of hand. And I just normalize it and I become desensitized and numb to this. And I think, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. To the point where the Lord asked you, how much do you love me?
yeah, how seriously do you take this?
Yeah.
How serious is your love for me? And I was like,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah. So good. So that'll lead on to, it kind of piggybacks off of it. Number 4, intimacy is not just physical, it's spiritual.
Yeah. We've said that in other videos. It's a sacred bond between you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? So when you think of it like that, you're going to want to protect that. You want to protect the marriage bed,
Yeah.
right? So that's the thing. It is physical because it's pleasurable. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. That's why God created it to be. Obviously, like you said at the beginning, he did that so we can procreate and be fruitful and populate the earth. But he also made it as a bond between you and your spouse.
Yeah.
So if you keep it in that, obviously, like I said, it is physical, but if you keep it in this with a spiritual lens, you're going to want to protect and keep it sacred and keep it holy and
That
protect
covenant.
that covenant of marriage and keep the marriage bed pure,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So is there anything else you want to add on that?
I think with doing all of those things, like prioritizing it, the trust factor, it's more enjoyable too.
Yeah.
You know, like all of it.
You got to have, prioritize it, have fun with it. Once you build up that trust, I think the communication is going to open and communicate with your partner too. Don't be scared to be like, no, this is because
Yeah.
I think I said this to you is a lot of, at least like guys like my age, like they got deceived and they did watch porn and they learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
And that's a lie.
Yeah.
So they think they're doing something that's like good and going to be potentially great for you. In reality, they just don't know.
Yeah.
So communicate with them.
Yeah.
And tell them,
Yeah.
And don't chastise. I think you said something like, it's pure and it's holy and it's private. You don't need to like talk about it in front of other people. Like,
No.
This is
Yeah.
between you and your spouse, right?
Yeah. Honor that.
So don't chastise them and to your friends or whatever,
Yeah. Like talk negatively.
Yeah, don't talk negatively about
Yeah.
them with,
Other people.
anything, honestly,
Yeah.
but specifically that, because I could really,
Yeah. No, it's sacred. It's a blessing. So treat it as such, you know?
yeah, just get to the point where like men just build up that trust so much that the woman that your spouse lets her guard down, and it's just going to be so much more fruitful. She's going to communicate with you, and that, again, I'll say it, it's going to take your intimacy and your marriage to the next level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
It's good.
so quick, as we always do, quick recap. Why is intimacy important and how to prioritize it? We went over that. Number 2, we went over what fuels intimacy in marriage from a man's perspective and a female's perspective, the woman's perspective. And then we also talked about, we called it what it was, and the devil's a great deceiver, and since the beginning of time, he's been sneaking his way in and trying to destroy marriage through lust.
Yeah.
We got to call that what it is, and that coincides with number 4, which is that intimacy is not only physical, it's spiritual. It's a sacred bond between you and your spouse, so do whatever you can to protect it and keep it that way.
Yeah.
Anything else that we got on this episode? I think we touched base on everything.
Thought that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys, for the next episode. The next episode is going to be about navigating finances together. I think that is that the title.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 5.
Is it? Yep.
Episode 5. Navigating finances together as a married couple. That's going to be a really fun one. We're kind of trying to talk about topics that can lead to that inevitable potential divorce, and we don't want you to ever say that word, and we're trying to think of the topics that lead up to that so we can navigate it together with you or whatever the situation is, so we can help prevent that. That's kind of what we're trying to do in this. So,
I want to say a point too. So just as you and I are having these conversations, because we kind of had these conversations before, but this whole like podcasting thing has really like hit the nail on the head. Like, we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
Have these conversations with your spouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Because what's not said isn't going to be made known. You may have like a thought like, oh, well, obviously that doesn't need to be said. It's just one of those like unspoken rules. Say it. Have those conversations.
Yeah, because we're not mind readers.
No.
Like, I don't know what you're thinking right now.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So
have those conversations and pray for the Holy Spirit to open up time where you can have those conversations. Soften your spouse's heart, soften my heart, Lord, and help us just have fruitful conversations. Because once you have those conversations, you know where the other person stands.
yeah, it's good.
And as always, the stronger the marriage, the stronger the family.
And always remember, the best marriages are composed of 2 really, really good forgivers. God bless.